Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rin Chen. I'm a mental health nurse. I'm working in North Metropolitan Health Services. Today, I am going to present on the topic: Is resilience masking systemic issue in mental health? Be resilient. We all have heard this word many times. It's everywhere. It's in job ads. It's in school, workplace, in therapy rooms, even in government mental health campaigns. Are you struggling at school? Be more resilient. Feeling burnout at work? Build resilience. Overwhelmed by life? Toughen up, bounce back, try harder. Resilient means we are told it's bouncing back from adversity. And it's become a popular word in mental illness. Sometimes it is used as a weapon against mental illness. And don't get me wrong, resilience can be helpful. It helps people survive through extremely hard situations. Resilience teaches people to be mentally tougher in face of difficulties. But while we teach people how to cope better, we often forget the bigger question: what is causing mental health in the first place? Let's look at the reality. In Australia today, mental health issues are rising, especially among young people. Suicide is still the leading cause of death among young Australians. We have housing crisis. Over 100,000 Australians are homeless on any given night. Workplace stress is rampant. Insecure jobs, long hours, low pay, and financial stress. What about cost of living? Through the roof. You all know that. People are anxious, exhausted, and stretched thin. And yet, when we respond to this crisis, we reach for the solutions that are targeted at individual level. Instead of fixing this, we keep telling people to be more resilient. We keep giving people advice like this: don't see crisis as impossible problems. Change is part of life. Look within, stay positive, be mindful. We call it resilience, but we are just putting on band-aids and walking away. All we do is just toughen up people and telling people keep going and smile through stress. Let me tell you example. A young person growing up in a low income neighborhood may experience chronic stress, anxiety, or depression. We might offer that young person resilience training, coping strategies, or school based mental health program. But we don't talk enough about why they are struggling in the first place. Let me tell you why resilience is a problem. While we focus more on personal resilience, it displaces blames onto the individual, ignoring any external factors such as poverty, racism, institutionalization, interpersonal relationship that are actually contributing to mental health challenges. And they are beyond someone's control. When we tell be more resilient to someone who is already struggling with mental illness can be harmful and deeply damaging. It can worsen their condition. It can make them feel like their suffering is their fault. We blame people for not being resilient instead of changing the toxic environment that they live in. Take nurses, for example, are told to be more resilient, while no one talks about unsafe working conditions. In today's world, personal resilience in mental health have become a commodity. I mean, it's something you can buy and sell in the market. This leads people to rely on products like mindfulness therapy, medication, mobile apps, books, so on, all that are promising better treatment for their mental illness. It has become a growing market driven by profit rather than a care. This results in the exploitation of vulnerable people who are already suffering from their mental illness. The main problem here is that when resilience is turned into something to be bought or sold in the market, it can become a destructive coping strategy. It makes people see their mental health problem as personal only and put on unnecessary burden on individuals. Furthermore, resilience isn't one size fits all. It's a Euro American idea that often ignores culture, context, and community. It is based on their perspective of self centered, individualistic, and person centered. So, it overlooks the diverse cultural and contextual factors that influence mental health. But resilience looks different in different culture. Yet we apply this Euro-American model of resilience to everyone and we expect it to work. What about Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people? They experience higher rate of mental illness, not because they are less resilient. In fact, these communities have shown extraordinary resilience in the face of colonization, dispossession, and generation of injustice. But because they face systemic discrimination, racism, intergenerational trauma, and poverty, it's not always about bouncing back. Sometimes it's about collective strength, community healing, connection to land, culture, and history. What they needed is structural change. I mean, structural change is access to culturally safe care, self determination, truth, and justice. What about LGBTQ and people with disabilities? They experience higher rate of mental illness too, not because of who they are, but because they face rejection, exclusion, harassment, bullying, and so on. That's not a personal failing, it's a national policy failure with mental health consequences. Again, this isn't about inner strength, it's about creating a world where they don't have to fight for safety and belonging every day. Now, here is the truth. The major drivers of poor mental health in Australia are not individual weakness, they are system failures, poor policies, because mental health isn't just about mindset, it's about environment. Mental health is shaped by things like housing, education, income, culture, social, economic, political, and psychological factors. The greater the inequality in the society, the poorer the mental well being of a society. Therefore, it is important that our system should be such that it provides a broader socio-economic condition, equal participation, freedom from discrimination, and self-determination. So where do we go from here? We need to stop treating mental health as purely personal issue and start seeing as a public, political, and social one. We need access to secure housing, decent wage, safe workplace, inclusive policies, culturally safe, and community based care. Because the world around a person, their support, community, and conditions help them grow and heal. It's not just about inner strength. Lastly, a true resilience isn't built in isolation. It is built in connection, in solidarity, in equity, in justice. Thank you.